What is up? Shop Talk podcast. Oh yeah, we'll get further into that. This was supposed to be for September 16th, 2018, but this is for September 17th, 2018. Let's see if we can... Whoops. Jesus. Yeah. So... yeah, I got the guitar out. I was playing last night, and it sounded fucking terrible. That's because I haven't been practicing. What happens when you don't practice? So, is somebody gonna help me? Oh, yeah. Or they do, honey, somebody gonna help me? Of course it's playing in the background still. Jesus. Let's see where we're at on the levels. Man, that could be a little high.
Where's my cat?
Yeah. Yep. That's better.
Who the fuck said that?
Man, that could be louder too. So, hopefully, I should have... this is the Fender Powerhouse Strat. I should have restrung my custom Zola guitar. Just some new things breaking into my world. Maybe not into yours, but of course there's tons of things going on with the NBA. Jimmy Butler wants to meet with the executives or the brass. That's all I've seen, and a lot of speculation around the league. Yeah, someone gonna help me? I was at work, and if anybody's ever heard this before, we'll get more into the whole work side of it. But there's a guy, and he's playing some pretty cool stuff. He's playing the meters. He's playing just some cool stuff. And then I noticed that he was playing, I heard Eric Clapton. So I said, do you ever listen to, and I don't talk to him much. He doesn't talk much anyways. I said, do you ever listen to the song Badge by Cream? Even though I prefer the Jeff Healey version of the song. And he goes, why he's playing Cream. And he goes, this is Cream. And I thought, you motherfucker. That's not what I asked you. But then again, he probably doesn't even know the name of the songs. He probably just listens to the shit. If you knew the guy, you'd know what I'm talking about. He's kind of out there. I don't know if he smoked too much something. Tyreek Evans in the NBA, of course. I think he'll have a breakout year for the Indiana Pacers. Reason being, I don't think he has ever played on a team in the Eastern Conference. I think the Memphis Grizzlies are in the West. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. And I mean, he's got to be because Marc Gasol's. Yeah. Anyways, but I remember some of the games that he had in high school where he didn't exactly... yeah, he balled on everybody, but there was a couple games that he got balled on. And I don't know. Yeah, that was like, what, 15 years ago? I don't remember if he came out around Sebastian Telfair came out around that same time. Okay. So then another guy at work, I was telling him about... I have two older brothers, and they were, he was talking to me, and he goes, now, I play guitar, and I've played in a few bands. Maybe haven't done what one of them has, as far as brothers go. But my other brother's a musician. He played in a band for years, and the guy, and this is such a misconception, especially around the town that I live in, and he goes, aren't your brothers the musicians in the family? And I had this once before happen to me, and I was dating this girl, and her older sister came up to me, which, before her older sister got married years and years ago, she was hitting on me. And, yeah, so anyways, she goes, I said something about my brother. She goes, wouldn't that have been great if you would have played guitar? I'm like, I play guitar. At least I try to play guitar. Let's see if we can. Now it's not mic'd up, it's across the room, but still. And I probably don't have the right reverb on. And I haven't been practicing. Okay, now I'm starting to fuck up. So, anyways, yeah. Normally I came on last few weeks ago. I came on and I had like 10 pages worth of stuff, and somehow it only went for 45 minutes. Maybe I was reading it too fast, but I was watching. If you guys ever check out "Something's Burning" by the comedian Bert Kreischer, and his it was Something's Burning, but it was The Leftovers, they called it. It just came out today with Brandon Schaub and another. Well, Brandon Schaub now is a comedian, but he was an MMA fighter. And this other comedian, that they host The Fighter and the Kid, or The Kid and the Fighter. I think it's The Fighter and the Kid. Hilarious stuff. And it was only like 10 minutes long on YouTube. I almost laughed so hard, almost a little piece of poop came out. That's all I'm going to say. And I didn't even have to poop. On a more serious note, let's see where we're at. Shit, we're only at 7 minutes? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Yeah, The Fighter and the Kid. Yeah, that's what it's called. There's some other stuff that came out recently. Some other podcasts I watched. The Joe Rogan with Bert Kreischer, Ari Schaefer, and Tom Segura. God. I mean, it was good, but it was like, there was too much going on. They're all bickering back with each other. It's not like this podcast where there's one person talking. There were 4 people talking. They're all comedians, and they're all blah, 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 getting at each other. But there was one word I had to look up, and it was hyperbole, which is, I don't know, combo word or whatever you want to call it. And that was about it. But there was some other, also, the Joe Rogan where he had, I got the TV on, of course, but I don't know where it's at. Basically, this other guy had a documentary about his life, and he was in prison for a murder that he didn't commit, and I really liked that documentary. However, I know this guy is in a bad state of mind. Here it is. But it was damn near... Nick Yaris? Is that how you say his name? He's a likable guy and everything, but God, it was really terrible because it's almost like he doesn't know how to interact with people. But at the same time, like, he doesn't know what the boundaries are. I'm going to do better and I'm going to do this. So it was very fucking annoying. And couldn't take it. Couldn't listen to it at all. Of course. Someone's walking down from heaven. Oh. But, yeah, I had a very long week. If you guys, if you listened to this before, you might know that I've started working 2 different jobs. And last week, I worked close to 50 hours. The week before, I did work 50 hours. And, that's not the whole point of it, but, so the job I took, one of them my buddy owns one of the businesses, and I was at a family party, and they didn't even ask me what I did. I put it out there, what I was doing recently, and there's still two jobs. It's a job, okay? We'll put that out first of all. Second of all, that didn't work. Second of all, I work my ass off, okay? And someone wanted to bring up, there's always someone at the party that ruins it for everybody else. I swear, and this was a freaking kids' party. But the person said, I said something about the economy. It's like, well, yeah, the economy it might be good, but I'm just talking about in the area that I live in. There's tons of jobs out there, and there's tons of jobs out there that pay more than what I make, but I wasn't willing to do them. But there's also jobs out there. There's tons of jobs out there, and there's tons of jobs out there that pay minimum wage. And reason being is I didn't take these other jobs, for one, because I might have to travel real far. There's many reasons behind it. And the one job I feel obligated to because I know the owner. But they said to me, well, you just took that job because you're an unskilled worker. You don't have a college degree or you don't work construction. And for one, I used to be a diesel mechanic at the second largest company in the world of heavy machinery. And, well, they might have been second then. I don't know if they're first now. But anyways, and I also was a laborer for a masonry company for a very short period of time in my life. And that is an unskilled worker. They basically tell you how to do the job. I totally get it. But this is also coming from somebody that doesn't have a degree and also doesn't work construction. They're fucking crazy. And to even say that, it's like, for one, hold on. For one, many, many years ago, I worked for 5 or 6 years, maybe 7 years, in the same thing I do now. So, how unskilled do I have to be? You know? And for all you people out there that are just getting by and you're working your ass off, I praise you. Or even people that have really good jobs and they're doing what they love for a living and they're making good money doing it, but they're working their ass off still. I mean, I remember when I made really good money and I still worked my ass off. This is also coming from another person that has a podcast that doesn't technically have a position, that technically doesn't have a job. Yeah, on paper, their job is that they have a podcast. But I will say this, and not to dumb it down for everybody else, but YouTube's been around for 10, 11 years. Podcasts have been around for what, 8, 9 years? Maybe longer. Is it going to be around another 10 years? We don't know. If you keep listening to this shit, if you keep listening to everybody else out there too, yeah, it'll keep going on. What I'm saying is, nobody knows. No, nothing is certain, okay? But on a lighter note, I still suck at guitar, but we'll see. There's only a few more minutes where I can play, because it's kind of woody tone. But what I used to do for a living too, I worked in a pawn shop for many years of basically my 20s and into the little part of my 30s. But I could get a job working for one of those places. But you know what? You got to work in the hood, and you got to work. And actually, I had an interview with a company that I could have worked for. And I've mentioned that before too. And I don't want this to be a fucking Debbie Downer and fucking. But that's basically what it is. It pissed me off. It ruined my whole week. I had a fucking great week. Worked my ass off. I usually try to get the podcast out and What's for Dinner out by Sunday speaking of, next tomorrow, I will have the video edited and the voiceover done for What's for Dinner. And it is it's stuffed bell peppers or stuffed peppers. What do you want to call it? Capsaicin. Or whatever they call them in Australia. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a little late on it, but I'm doing what I can. And let's see here. I don't know how long the podcast will be. I know everybody, and I always say this, I know everybody likes it in a longer format, and I just don't have 45 to an hour in me today. Say what you will. Again. But there should be this week coming out with another Taxi Cab Confessions. I don't remember if it's episode 2 or if it's part 2, but there should be one coming out this week. It went over pretty well, the last one. I've been meaning to do it more, but I kind of already know my material for it, but I will just leak this out and say that in the previous one I talked about two brothers that lived on the same floor as me in the same building, and their names were Neil and Clay. Well, Neil is in prison. Clay was in prison with him. Now Clay is out, and I've came in contact with Clay again. We actually were supposed to hang out, but life happens. Things come up. I wish I could hang out with him. And I actually was going to have him on one of the Taxi Cab Confessions, but I'll get more into that on that episode. And that episode should air this week. Back on to just for a minute. Let's see. Just for a second, I will just say this. The person that we were talking about before, where was I going with this? So, this is also somebody that used to play in bands and hasn't really had a job in the last few years. Yeah, he might have had a job, and his job was playing in bands. Yeah, I would give him maybe 3 or 4 years ago. At least 3 years ago. Yeah, he had a job. He had a title at his job. I'll give him that. But for someone that you would think that I actually always looked up to my whole life would actually say this shit to me, just fucking degrade me and fucking blah. It's like, I work my ass off. And then for someone in his position to say anything about, like he knows about it, listen to NPR, listen to an economist. If you're praying to the fucking orange man in the White House, good for you. But some of the shit that a lot of people say out there, like even the liberals, I'd rather listen to, what's the hate speech guy that they put out? And there's a big thing going on about it right now, where he was actually like in D.C. and having little, conferences where with the media, Alex Jones. But my whole point is I'd rather listen to him than listen to some of the liberals, even though I'm not right or left. But what I'm saying is there's so much misinformation out there, and people can try to argue with whatever point that they want. The reality of it is the economy is not as good as they say. And if you ever listen to an economist on NPR about the economy, they will tell you it's not as good as what it looks like on paper. You can say and think whatever you want in your head. Doesn't really fucking matter. Doesn't matter to me. It can matter to you if you want, but the reality of it is it's not as good as what... I mean, there's millions of fucking people that were on the unemployment, on the unemployment rate that aren't even looking for jobs because they fucking gave up. The list will go on. I'm not an economist. I'm not going to sit here and try to prove a point because there is no point. I'm not going to try to change anybody's mind because I don't give a shit. If you want to be ignorant, think that way, then fucking be ignorant because there's no changing your mind already. Let's see. I might have to, a few minutes, turn this all off because, yeah, the neighbors. Gotta be quiet. I hear the neighbors, kid crying. I always think it's mine. But it's not. So, did you see that thing where, was it Andrew Luck of, well, if you watch NFL, you know who the hell that is. I think it was on ESPN, but they just posted on YouTube about the guy that does the fake Twitter account for Andrew Luck, and has all these pictures of him in the Confederacy. It's hilarious. You should check that out. And if you're also on Twitter, you should check out the fake Bernie Kosar. That shit is hilarious. Because even if the guy's a dry drunk and a great quarterback, he used to be. But even if he wasn't drunk when he was commentating on football, he's definitely a dry drunk because he would slur his words and all kinds of things like I'm doing now. But yeah, you guys should check out that on Twitter. Also, there's another guy out there I like to mention. The Endorsement does food reviews. Of course, I watch a lot of Greg's Kitchen. He has 3 or 4 channels on YouTube, but the Grego one is great too. It's Greg, the capital O, and that's it. That's kind of his side YouTube. Where he just kind of speaks his mind. That's better to me than Greg's Kitchen. But Greg's Kitchen is great if you're into, cooking up different dishes. Actually, there's one right here. Mexican rice. How hard could it be? But, yeah, I hope you guys are having a good week. I worked 6 days last week. Probably working 6 days, at least 7, if not more this week, with the different schedules colliding with each other. I missed the jobs where I sat on my ass and I only worked 40 hours a week. Or even the jobs where I didn't sit on my ass, but I just worked 45 hours a week. So, take it for what you will. It could be worse, right? I could not have a job. I don't want to downplay that at all. On a lighter note, I will be getting back to more NBA stuff as it unfolds once the season starts, and I can't wait. I could sit here and try to talk about stuff that I don't know anything about and put out a podcast and eat up time. That's what I'm doing right now. But I'm not going to do that. I don't want to shortchange any listeners out there, and I appreciate everybody out there that listens. Of course, check out my paypal.me/live from the workbench if you would like to donate to the podcast. Also, the What's for Dinner videos, cooking videos, which this last one, I'll tell you what, they are a lot harder to shoot than what you may think. I mean, it takes up a lot of time. And then on top of that, I was trying to put out my own music with the cooking videos. So if you hear some repeat stuff, that's obviously why. Is to add to that, to do it that way. Very, very, very time consuming. But I haven't forgot about you guys, and I will get back to you in a longer fashion. I think that's how you'd say it. or longer format. You know, it is what it is. I'm working my ass off, and they're actually, I'm not going to announce it yet because it's not finalized, but if this other thing goes through, then I'll have a whole lot more time to write for the podcast and also work on more cooking videos and get them out in a timely fashion. That's what I meant to say. Okay, there we go. So, hopefully, Jimmy Butler, I hate to say it, maybe he does shake up the league and go somewhere else. He's always wanted to play with Kyrie. He's mentioned that before. I don't think he's going to go play with Kyrie. If he does go to another team, you know where I think he's going? LA, baby. LA Lakers. That's where I think he's going. And it's weird how Tom Thibodeau, he's going to have like 8 players or maybe even more. Maybe he's had like 12 players that came through there that have played for him. God, I got to shut this shit off if I'm going to sit here now like that. Have played for him before, but currently, if he gets Joakim Noah, I think it's like 7 or 8 players that used to play on the Bulls all together with each other. And why he would want to create, the Minnesota Bulls is beyond me. I know why he would still want to pick up some of those players, and I like his loyalty to a lot of those players. And let's face it, Deng is not a bad player at all. And you got to remember so Deng was with the Bulls. LeBron left, okay? Deng went to Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron was at the Heat. LeBron left the Heat. Deng went to the Heat. Okay. Now, I want to say Kobe Bryant left the Lakers. Then Deng went to the Lakers. He's following all these great players. I mean, not just great players. Some of the best in the world. Some of the best ever as far as we've seen in the NBA. Okay, he sits on the bench for, I don't know, at least a year, if not more. There I go again. Jesus. So, but no, I'm just saying. So, he's following up all these great players. What do you expect? What do you expect of this guy? And actually, when he went to the Cavs, he was a pretty damn good player. That's another thing. Bynum. Andrew Bynum is trying to make a comeback. Good fucking luck. But I will say this. A lot of people underestimate him. And when he played for the Lakers, he was a great player. That's his good player. Yeah, he was a great player by any standards. But yeah, injuries. He's still young. I don't remember if he's 27 or 28. What if he's even 29? It doesn't matter. He's still young. Will he go to a team where he has significant minutes? No. Should he get signed to a team and everybody thinks this is a big laughing matter? I think he should get signed to a team. Even if he's playing 10 to 15 minutes a game, I think he could be really effective, And fuck, if his knees feel like mine, he won't last a minute in the NBA. Again, my fucking knees are killing me. So, I should probably talk about that too, because, I had this little pimple on my nose, and the weirdest of places. So, anyways, my nose became sore, and I thought that maybe I had like a blood clot in it, like not inside of it, but like outside of it. And I said, if my nose is sore for another week, because it was sore for about a week, and started getting real red, and all that stuff went away. Because I said, if another week it's still sore, I'm going to the hospital and I'm going to see a specialist, because it was getting a little crazy, a little out of hand as far as the pain went. But it went away. I don't know if it's weather change or basically where I work. I work at a diner and I'm around not a hot stove, but a hot oven. So I didn't know if that was causing it or what. I've never experienced this before my whole life. So, yeah, it is what it is. But the people I work for, and I wanted to say this before, and I think I didn't mention this at all. The people that I work for, where I know the owners, even the other place where I don't know the owners so much, they treat you like you're somebody, you know. I don't want to keep rehashing this, but the person that was saying whatever they were saying was treating me like I was a fucking nobody. Okay. Well, when I go to work for these places, they treat me good and they treat me like I'm someone. And you got to remember that too. I had a guy say that to me when I worked for the pawn shop downtown, and I was all fucking upset and fucking all emotional. And he goes, you know, regardless of what you do for a living or where you work, you're always somebody. You always got to think of yourself like that. And regardless of what I do for a living, in my head, I'm always somebody. And if someone treats me less than that, then I don't work there. I don't care how much money you pay me an hour or you pay me annually, salary, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. But the two places I'm working, they treat me like I'm somebody. And they're nice to me. And that's what really matters. Another guy that owns his own pawn shop and is quite successful now. He worked where I worked for 10 years, which there was many other people, because you can only work there for 10 years. That's what he always say too. You can only work at Uncle Sam's for 10 years. And I've heard other people, they didn't say that, but they only worked there for 10 years. And other people that own their own pawn shops as well. But he just said that and in a joking manner. But he was, he was actually being very truthful about it. And again, very, very successful guy. Where the fuck was I going with this? But basically, he had to save up so much money, and he bought another pawn shop off of a pawn shop that was going out of business. But they were only going out of business because they didn't want to do it anymore and because of their age. So he's buying the business from them. And he bought them out or whatever, but, he even told the owner, this was the point that I was getting at, where I worked before. He said, everything's not about money. And the owner said, yes, it is. And he said, no, it's not. It's about being happy, Yeah, maybe you're not doing exactly what you want to do, but life is definitely about being happy. It's not always about being, it's not always about money. Because if it was, then you'd have everybody not doing jobs that still need to be done. And the unemployment rate would be super fucking high because people would be holding out for jobs that they want, but they'll never get. Or jobs that are very hard to get. And especially in that situation, all those jobs would be taken up by more people. So you don't need to hear it from me. It doesn't matter. But I hope you guys have a good week. I've got a very busy week coming up. The cooking video will come out tomorrow after I edit it and, of course, do a voiceover for it. There should be another, Taxi Cab Confessions coming out. Again, I don't know if it's episode 2 or part 2. I'm pretty sure it's episode 2. Excuse me. And next week, I should have a cooking video and a podcast a little bit more readily for you guys to listen to. So, check out all the links in the description. I appreciate everybody out there that watches. Let's get one of these in real quick. Oh, Jesus, I can't even get it right.
What?
Where's my cat?
I killed your cat, you druggy bitch.
God, why?
I felt it would bring closure to our relationship.
If I could only have closure in all of my relationships.
You're what?
You're...
Huh? You're what, bitch? Ah, damn it. I'll shoot myself in the head. You can tell me that cat's name. Go ahead. You're what? You're precious little...
Skibby.
Oh, Jesus. What color was it, bitch?
No, you fucking yell like that,
Oh.
you prick!
Shit, you fat ass, Ravy. I can't buy a pack of smokes without running into 9 guys you fucked. Dad.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite quotes. And then we'll just go with this deal.
Who the fuck said that? Who's the slimy little communist shit twinkle-toed cocksucker down here who just signed his own death warrant? Nobody, huh? The fairy fucking godmother said it. I'm fucking standing. I will PT you all until you fucking die. I'll PT you until your asshole for sucking buttermilk. Was it you, you scroungy little fuck, huh?
Sir, no, sir.
You little piece of shit, you look like a fucking worm. I bet it was you.
Sir, no, sir.
Sir, I said it, sir.
Well, no shit. What have we got here? A fucking comedian, private joker.
Yeah.
I admire your honesty. Hell, I like you. You can come over to my house and fuck my sister.
And then he gets punched. Let's see what's on this one. Nope, don't want to hear that. Nope, know what that is. Know what that is. Oh, here we go. Life is all about...
It's not sudden. Preparation. As far as the actual job's concerned, it's a piece of piss. A monkey could do it. That's what I thought of you. It's not.
Yeah. But I hope you guys have a good week. Let's play some other shit. Let's see. Do you have anything? Yeah, I think we did this last week when
Metaphor heavyweight, I love to dominate, elevate, levitate. You could say that I'm great, cause I spit it for the skaters and I spit it for the rappers. Spit it for the haters and I spit it for the slackers. Spit it for the gangsters, blacks and crackers. And I spit it for the backpackers and microphone masters. When I'm on the track, you could tell I'm a Zach. A matter of fact, you know where hip hop is at. Used to walk around these streets and get high as the cops roll by till my cup ran dry. I used to walk to work 3 miles a day, freestyling, perfecting what I had to say. I'm sharpening my tongue, know I'm proud where I'm from. They didn't know how I felt, so I made microphones melt. Cause paper's gasoline and
like
pens are
16 years
lighters.
ago.
My words make tracks catch fire. I was a kid led astray, dreaming of a better day, and I had a price to pay, but I found my way. Woo! Got a warrant for their arrest, and I smoked that shit that'll cave in your chest.
Gets it all non-stop, hit the rocks, slinging shit, get rich, kill them all.
We'll get you bail money, get me out of jail money, hold down my honey, you know how I do.
Brings the skills to a level unheard, flip the bird, get him pissed, I don't care. When I
Back in the streets again. Back in the streets again.
And this is for everybody that we know. Here you go.
We used to play all night, stay up to daylight. Future seems so bright, through the wrong and the right. We stick together though we argue and fight. These are my friends and this is my life. Said these are my friends. I met Chris and Mikey at a house party. This is how it all started. They threw me in the mosh pit. They was friends of my older brother. Still when my pops was undercover. I was like 11 at the time, not even thinking about rhyme. For all the crime, before the cops dropped the dime. Reminiscing about friends that I'm missing. Please listen, yo, through my ups and my downs, they always came around, always making me proud. Doing shit we're not allowed, breaking the rules, skipping school. We even had a group of chicks that used to follow us around. Mikey's system used to pound. You don't know these are the best times till they're not around. It's like those were the days when the days was days. We used to hang out all night and stay up to daylight. That was the time when the times was times. Even argue and fight through the wrong and the right. Those were the days when the days was days. We used to party all night and stay up to daylight. These are my friends and this is my life. You're forever my friend. Stick together to the end.
and this is for everybody.
So, one more time. Jesus. This doesn't even work correctly. Yeah, let's make that loud. Okay, let's do it again. There we go.
Where's my cat?
I killed your cat.
Okay, sorry, I could listen to that all fucking night long. Well, I hope you guys enjoy your week. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Pay attention to some of there's gonna be some shit going around the league. Not to uninform you of I just want to hear some people that listen to this want to hear some of the older music. So I wanted to play it for you. Wouldn't it be great if you were a musician? Or how about the other joke? If you listen to the beginning part of it, this is Cream. No. Anyways, after that, the whole point of me saying that about Cream and Badge, or Eric Clapton and Badge was, and he said, well, this is Cream. I'm like, well, I play that song and I also sing it. Not that it matters. And that's what I said to him. Not that it means anything, but I sing and play that song. Not as good as Jeff Healey, but definitely better than Clapton. No offense. Or they were playing Clapton, and I walk by and I go, it's not like he's God or anything. You know, if anyone's a music buff, you totally fucking get that. They didn't fucking get it, you know, fucking retards. Okay. Oh, you can't say that word anymore. Alex Jones. So, I hope you guys have a good weekend. I hope you're having fun at your job, in your cubicle. And, I'll see you at the end of next week.
Can it be that it was all so simple then?
Got me thinking, I remember the time.
Can it be that it was all so simple then?
Ain't no changing what's left.
Can it be that it was all so simple then?
Because we all race against death.
Can it be that it was all so simple?